just make sure everything is working via audio right now. So one final check with the Cosmos. Could somebody just say yes? You can hear me clearly? Thank you. Excellent. Now, let me leave this for a moment. Welcome, everybody, to an adventure into the human story on planet Earth. And you are in the right place if it is short history of the world in the global classroom. At Durham College, one day after we got whacked by Mother Nature, just to let us know that there is a more powerful force on planet Earth than the humans. But we have a long time this semester to tell the story of many of the forces in human civilization and beyond that have brought the human being to this planet and that have made the human so dominant. And one of them you're going to see is the great force of religion and divinity, but also, of course, science and technology. At any rate, I am Professor Lon Appleby, and you are in a very special place in this room in terms of an educational experience. So I'm going to take it kind of slowly right now so that you can absorb what you've entered into and begin to recognize, or at least feel, that this is a classroom, I hope, which you will want to be in and look forward to being in, than something where it's an effort to be in and you simply bring your device in, your computer, your laptop, your headphones, and you kind of tune out. But you're actually here, but you're not. I've worked hard to make this into an educational experience that is going to be relevant for all of you, not just in terms of history, but in terms of mindset and preparation for a world right now that you're entering into that is very volatile, very difficult, very dangerous, but with incredible opportunities. And so let me just stop for a moment and make sure everybody is here for now, and then we're going to move on and I will set the course up. We're going to do an activity together, and by the end of today's class, for those of you in person, as well as joining online in what I call the Cosmos, in our own video conferencing system that we have created here, I've been building with a team in Waterloo. It's just one more example of the fact that what you are entering in here is a world-class, cutting-edge, progressive new educational experience that is multimedia, high-tech, and global. It's possible to join this class right now in the top left-hand corner behind me. We're live streaming on YouTube right now in high definition. And so if you do not want to be seen by anybody on YouTube throughout this class, you're welcome to go, or at least just show the back of your head. But you also don't have to come to the in-person class. You can join the class live synchronously, like the people in the little icons behind me, or you can watch the class like a television show later, asynchronously, with a high definition recording. And all of these options are available to you. This is the college's attempt to be a leading, cutting-edge post-pandemic classroom. So I just want you to feel that we care about creating something new and interesting for all of you at a time when the world is very difficult and you all need better education. So let's just make sure everybody's okay right now with this. So let me just remind you, as I set things up before we start to interact, that you have those three ways of joining the class, okay? And you probably are familiar with that already. Did you read the announcement on DC Connect? Just so I know who's coming with some prior knowledge. Don't worry if you haven't, okay? Not a problem. How many of you know what I just said? Kind of, okay? You read or you were aware? Great, but some don't. Okay, so I will help you to understand. It's absolutely fair. Every so often, I may have to just check with the tech right now because I'm doing a workaround. So let me just make sure that everybody sees, and I'm going to come back to me for the onliners. I'm kind of toggling with my little bit of glasses to see what I'm doing. Okay, so bring that back. Great. Okay, so the folks online will see me now. And was that fairly smooth, that camera change in the Cosmos? Ethan, Diego, yes, no? Do you see me now at the podium clearly? You should? Great. Okay, so it's the television producer in me. I have many years before I began to teach, I was producing and directing television programs, executive producing, and writing a lot for magazines and newspapers. So I know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I do, but I love to be in a classroom with students, with all of you. Does anybody first have anything they would like to say? Anything they would like to ask before I explain more about the format, then I will give a short lecture after we interact on short history of the world. And then we're going to do an activity together where you meet each other as well. So by the end of today's class, you're going to have a really good sense for those of you who are in person, as well as those of you who are in the Cosmos right now, what this class is going to be and what it's going to do for you. And then if you decide by the end of the class that you don't want to take this class, not a problem. There's some great other gen ed electives that you can take, taught by my colleagues. I have my hands full with other courses I teach, so don't worry at all, okay? And even in today's class, if you decide this is not for you, you can go, okay? Not a problem. I understand. You're still at the buffet right now, this 2 weeks or so, where you're testing out different courses, gen ed electives. So no questions? Okay. The first thing I'm going to say, let's see, in the Cosmos, nothing in there. The first thing I'm going to say, and I'll make sure you can see the YouTube live stream up here, so it's good. I have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to just put a little bit of pressure on you right now at the beginning, just to kind of send a little bit of energy through you and turn you from sort of students who aren't sure, maybe a little shy, to ones who are a little more connected and engaged. But you don't have to do this. Could you please come and sit on the couches? But you don't have to. Okay, let's just see. Nobody will be penalized or anything. I just want to get a sense of how far I can push this today with everybody. The idea is that this class, as you're going to see, is highly interactive with people talking, but you may not feel comfortable being here. And let me just show you the view, okay, so you can get a sense of what I mean. You see the view behind me right now. That's the view that everybody else sees out there. This class has 111 students registered for it, spread out over 2 cohorts. Look at how many people are here in person when they're given the option, a fraction. So in a way, the ones who come in person are like the little nucleus in this class. They're going to be driving the class with their energy and their interaction. But largely, unless the others in the Cosmos want to be here, they're not going to come for whatever reason. And I've given them that choice. So it's interesting, just to give you an example of how many students can't be here or really don't want to be here, that there's only a tiny fraction that are here. And yet you in person are the critical part of the class. You're going to get used to this. This is a new kind of class. So of those that I've just asked to see who would like to come in, I want to tell you something, okay? And I need to do this. I'm doing a workaround today in this room because the tech isn't all working the way it should, but I'll take it step by step. That camera is capturing all of you, okay? Normally, all the cameras work here. Normally, all the microphones work here. You may have seen we are in an economically scary time. Although to be a Canadian is probably the best place to be if you look at the world right now, with the United States withdrawing from everything and Canada going out and making partnerships with everybody. That's what we just did with China yesterday. We've done it with India. So the economic times have meant the college has no more money virtually. There's a hiring freeze. I don't have tech support much. We've lost the cameras. We've lost everything. This whole room that I've helped to build over the years with a $500,000 video wall cannot be serviced properly anymore. So I'm running on my own device with my own webcam to do this and make this work, okay? But maybe things will change this semester. So that is a critical thing, because normally the cameras here would see the nucleus. And that's the microphone that I have to activate in a moment. Right now it's the microphone on my laptop, but when we get things going, when you talk and debate and everything and come up to the podium, I'm going to toggle back between the microphones here and there so that students online can hear nice and clearly, like a podcast, like, you know, something really rich. So let's take this first in terms of some tech, because I've been finding a new way. I've just got to literally activate this now, and it's not all working, but great. Okay, so let's check and see, and then watch what's going to happen with this group. We're going to light this on fire, and you will see what this can be, what education can be. First, Diego, can you see me and hear me clearly now as I sit here? Just put it into the live chat. Yes, you can? Yeah, great. So, good, this is working. Next step. I hope that many more students will come in person through the semester, but no pressure at all. I'll explain how you're rewarded in a way for coming in person, and there's more work the more remote you are in this class. I'll walk you through the marking and all of that. So you're in the right place to be here in person. But I want to make sure this microphone is working, because this group needs to be heard clearly by everybody out in the cosmos and recording. And normally I'd be handing a microphone out, and it would be just like karaoke. You'd be talking like this, and when you take the microphone, you feel like your voice matters, but not working. So let's try, okay, for a moment. Hi, how are you today?
Okay, a little tired, but
What's your name?
my name's Thomas.
Thomas, okay. Thomas, you can't be seen right now clearly, but that's okay, as long as you're heard, okay? I'm not going to waste time moving this camera around. Thomas, could you just tell me a little bit, or tell everybody, sort of why you're here, and then for those of you right now in the cosmos, Diego, Rayhan, Benison, and others, please, if you don't hear this, your name again? Thomas, sorry. Yeah. If you don't hear Thomas clearly, please let us know in the live chat, okay? And then, Thomas, go ahead.
Simply put,
What are you here for?
here because I enjoy history. There's nothing much more I can say than that, but I enjoy military history as a whole. And
Yeah, me too. And we really have quite excellent. Okay, so Thomas really likes history, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a few today who are going to say that. I apologize if it's a little cold in here right now. You may want to put your coat back on. It's okay. The heat is not working properly too. I turned it up, but that's just one more example of what we're dealing with in this room. So we gotta light that up and heat it up with our brains, okay? But would you like a coat?
I'm okay.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I don't really
Okay.
feel cold.
Okay, good. Okay, so Thomas has said, so let's see how things are working, because the idea is that we have created a global class where the people here in person can be heard by everybody, and they're drawing people in. Does that make sense? Kind of? Okay. So what's your name?
my name's Hamish.
Hamish?
Yep.
H-A-M-I-S-H? Okay, Hamish. Hamish, can you tell us why you're here?
Same as Thomas. I just like history.
Yeah? What do you like about history?
A lot of the wartime stuff.
Ah, uh-huh.
Pretty raw.
Okay, tell me, just as a kind of a technical test, Hamish, more than anything, don't worry, okay? It's not significant. What would you consider the most important war in human society? And sort of give us a sense of why you think it's important. And if it's not knowledgeable, it's okay. I'm not expecting you to be an almanac or an encyclopedia. You're in a class, and I'm going to help teach you, okay? So please go ahead.
Simply not knowledgeable. Probably World War II. No? Yeah.
Yes. World War II? Okay. Let's see if they can hear. Diego, did you hear Hamish when he said World War II? Let's see. Did you? Great. Okay. Good. Thank you. I never know completely with the online group. I'm just engaging them a little bit now, but you will notice that I'm not putting any pressure on anybody to share their video or share their audio because nobody wants to. Everybody's tired of that. We went through that in the pandemic and it got us through the pandemic, but people are tired of sitting frozen in front of their screen, having to remain still all the time and smile. That's not normal. So I let people not appear with their face or with their audio, and they can be moving around, they could be cooking while they're in the class, as long as they're connected and they can hear everything and they're ready to respond, okay? So all of those people are out there, and now I know if Rayhan, Rayhan can hear, then Benison can hear, Danica and others, but it is possible that some of those planets right now are not real. They're ghosting the class. We will find out, okay? But I like to refer to those as the planets. You can see on YouTube that they appear at the bottom of the screen, okay? So, but I will deal with that later with marking, but I am aware that this method I've developed can be abused, just like AI, meaning that you can just come to the class, log in, show your icon, and disappear. But it will catch up to these students if that's what they're doing. Okay, great. So I'm going to make an assumption right now that technically all of you in the cosmos can hear everybody, but let's try once more, okay? So we have Thomas, we have Hamish. What's your name?
Samar.
Samar.
S-A-M-A-R.
S-A-M-A-R. Samar.
Yes.
Welcome to Short History of the World in the Global Classroom. Tell me, Samar, why are you here exactly?
I like history, and I'm interested to know, to learn many things for history. Yeah.
Yeah, you like history for sure. Where are you from?
I'm from Jordan.
You're from Jordan?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, we have our first acknowledgement that this class is kind of bigger than Oshawa. And that not only do we have a Jordanian here, but the Jordanian is not coming live from Jordan. They're right here, live with us, meaning we probably have a lot to learn from her about the Middle East.
Yeah, Middle East.
Now, I'm not going to get into geography right now. Not yet. But I want to just remind you all that part of what you're about to experience in this class is something that is planet-wide. Very, very global. So let me come back and I'll have this here with my audio and make sure, because it doesn't switch back. So dumb, this tech. But anyways, we're good. I've got it set now, and I'll bring this because I need to help you to understand now about the critical part of the course. At least I've established in a very preliminary way that this is going to work. This camera is going to work and that tech is going to work. But we're going to be very interactive, okay? introducing you to a few things today. So you're familiar and you understand what you've entered into. But I do want to talk about the content right now. And there's some other things I need to do before we have an activity. Thomas and Hamish and Samad, thank you for coming to the couch and being ready. And what's your name? Maya. Okay, so Maya, and then finally, Malachi. Lovely. So we have, let's just see how diverse the nucleus is. This is the nucleus, and you guys out there are the electrons, and you're floating around. But the protons and the neutrons in the nucleus, they're like joined tightly right now. I'm going to talk a lot about science in this class. You're going to see the whole story laid out for you starting next week, chronologically, going right back to the Big Bang 13.7 billion years ago. And I'm going to be showing you a simulation from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the latest science that shows us how we think the universe began. This is unlike any kind of history course you've ever taken, and maybe unlike any class you've ever been, I hope, because this is going to open your mind. For example, Thomas, where exactly were you born? Here in Oshawa? Okay, great. Hamish, where were you born? London area, okay, so local. Samar, we know in Jordan. Saudi Arabia. Okay, so I don't have my world map completely handy right now. I'll bring it, but can we just establish something visually in terms of the world? You can see behind me a short history of the world, the story of humanity, the two halves of the planet. That is the Western Hemisphere, which is the Americas. That's the Western, and everything west of the Atlantic Ocean is the Western Hemisphere. Everything east of the Atlantic Ocean is the Eastern Hemisphere. And when you look at the whole planet in terms of human civilization, we talk about the Western and Eastern Hemispheres. So we can say Samar clearly comes from the Eastern Hemisphere across the Atlantic Ocean. Now, Saudi Arabia is east of Africa, because if you look behind me right now, you only see the African continent further east, but you have to go further east, and you're going to get to very, very close across a sea called the Red Sea, near the Great Rift Valley, where all humans came from, is this other remarkable place called the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. And that is where she comes from, right? Yes, more or less. Riyadh, Mecca, Jeddah. Jeddah, okay. So it would be fair for me to say, as a woman who is wearing a hijab right now, that your most important human, who may be not quite human, but kind of divine too, is a prophet named Muhammad, who led his armies out of the Saudi Arabian Peninsula around 1300 years ago and began to conquer the rest of the world. And he was the creator of Islam. Yes? No? You are a follower of Muhammad? Blessed be his name. But in this class, there are all sorts of religions. So I have to say, you may not want to hear this, that among the Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Mohawk, Mojabi, Mohawk, Ojibwe, you're all important in this class. There is no one prophet, one human that is more important than anyone else. Jesus is not more important than Muhammad. Abraham is not more important than Siddhartha Gautama. And it goes on. But you're going to see through this class, when we begin to look at human civilization and how it was created, that we humans are often divided. And a lot of us humans do not want to accept evolution, that there is something beyond our religions, something much bigger on this planet than just the one prophet that we follow or the gods that we followed. Let's not forget, once upon a time in the great Roman Empire, world's first superpower, or even going back to the great Greeks, they had multiple gods. Many great civilizations preceded our prophets and did not believe in one God, but many. The force of religion is a tremendous force. Please remember, in this class, we accept so much diversity. We are all humans together on this journey. So here we have Thomas, we have Hamish, we have Samar right now. We have, again, Maya. Maya, where were you born? But where are your parents from? Your grandparents? Is it possible they come from another part of the world? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. And Malik? Malachi. Malachi, where were you born? Pickering. Where were your parents born? Jamaica. Huh. Okay, so we have the Middle East represented right now. We have Islam represented. We have probably an Asian connection somewhere in the further east. And there, Buddhism has been a great faith in terms of a worldview. And then Malachi from Jamaica, the Caribbean. And the Caribbean, well, take a look at the map behind me. That's in the Western Hemisphere. And up here we have Canada, we have the United States, and then we have all of North America going right down through that little Central American strip into South America. That's north and south. Then we have the Caribbean and all those little islands out there around the Gulf of Mexico. That's where Christopher Columbus came when he so-called discovered the Americas in 1492. And we have that great island of Jamaica. And in Jamaica, the people are black. Oh no. What are we going to do now in this class? We have a black, we have Islam, Muslim, we have a woman back there who's not sure she really wants to be here, but she will come in soon. We shall see. It looks like maybe India over there. Where? Nepal. Even better. Kathmandu. Everybody knows what's in Kathmandu, don't they? How many years did you live in Kathmandu? Okay. A little bit southern. So as a boy, when you would wake up and look up, did you see mountains? Which ones? Full range. The Himalayas, the Great Mountain Range, Nepal, just very close to Far East, just south of China, tucked in north of India. And was Mount Everest close by? Yeah. So we have now over there, we have Nepal represent. I mean, it's everybody in this class. That's my way of introducing to you that in this class, you and where you come from and who you are and what you can bring to this class in terms of your views and what you have to say is going to be very important. More important than my lectures and the activities is to hear you speak. So, first thing I need to do before we go to the next stage of today's class is I need to do what we're going to do every class, is I need to have all the people who are on board in person to write their names at the smartboard over there. And then we're going to see all those names up here. And in a moment, we're going to know who's on board today for the exploration in short history of the world. Who's on board in today's class? And for all of you in the Cosmos live chat, please put your full names in the live chat right now because everything is saved. You will see later, so I can track things. So could you do this for me right now? Get up, walk over to the smartboard, and take a pen that's sitting on the left, and I will help you, okay? So first, yes, and go ahead and write your full name just beneath mine. Yep, start writing. That's right. Excellent. Okay, and for all of you right now in the cosmos, I am watching from here all the in-person students putting their names. So there's Bella. Lovely. And Bella, let's just say you meant to put a K instead of a G. Let's just say you made a mistake, but you didn't. To rub that off, just take your thumb to the G and rub that and watch what happens. There you go. Can you write that back again, G? So everybody, if you make a mistake, you can correct it immediately. Go ahead now. Thank you, Bella. Yes, next student on board in today's class. And while they're doing that, and you will see behind me on the big board filling up, I'm going to see who's in the cosmos, okay? And full names. Wow, we have, Marco Visconti Jones. Lovely. Marco, where were you born? Can you put that in the live chat? Go ahead. Marco Visconti Jones. Carolina Ribeiro? Ribeiro. Lovely. Carolina Ribeiro. Excellent. Make sure you put the number beside that too so I can track. So Carolina is number 3. Sanya, thank you, is number 4. Jack, I know from another class, is number 5. And we'll correct that later, okay? Carolina, is it okay if I talk to you and we talk, or would you rather me not right now? Yes? No? You're okay? If I, would you do me a favor? Would you be able to remove the headset? Just so, good, I can, and if you don't want to do anything, it's okay, all right? Excellent, thank you, okay? Just so we can make sure I know you can hear me, okay? San, Jack, Hamish, Thomas, lovely. Okay, you can come back to your seats. We're going to take this really slowly. In Hamilton, Marco. Could you stay on the couch? Yeah, great. Marco, where were your parents born? Just curious. Hamilton as well? Let's see if the Visconti. My mom was born in Italy and my dad in New Brunswick. Lovely. Okay, so now we have an Italian connection. Italy. Have you ever been to Italy, Marco? You can jump on your microphone if you are comfortable with that, and we should be able to hear you, but let's just see. Go ahead and try. If your microphone's broken, let's, okay, we'll stay in the live chat for now. Nice. Okay, so Malachi, Maya, Ethan, that's all right. Marco, I understand. Zohair. Hello, Zohair. Zohair, where are you from? From Pakistan. Wow. Have you been to Pakistan? Karachi, Islamabad? Islamabad. The story of the Indian civilization and the Pakistani society, and how once upon a time they were together. The Indus River, where India and Pakistan are in the world, was and remains a great culture in world history. However, as you're going to see in this course, when we start to look at different societies, there's some bad blood. And I'm afraid that after the Second World War, 1945, when it ended, the worst conflict, so much carnage, so much damage, so much hatred, India decided that it did not want to be a unified country in which Muslims and Hindus lived together. And there was a figure named Mahatma Gandhi, one of the great figures in human history, not dissimilar from perhaps a Muhammad or a Jesus or an Abraham or Siddhartha Gautama, who comes along and they're a unifier. They want to bring people together, lead them to a place of peace and beauty. And he wanted the Muslims and the Hindus to live together in this place. And one day, a Hindu extremist, a fanatic, broke through a crowd of people, took a gun, and shot Mahatma Gandhi straight in the chest and killed him in cold blood. And that was the end of the dream for Muslims and Hindus to live together. And the Pakistan world became the world of the Muslim. And India became the world of the Hindu. But there's a lot of movement back and forth. Bangladesh, we'll put the Muslims over there. We'll keep the Hindus over here. And we'll try to keep them and integrate them, but we'll get there. The world is filled with these kinds of stories. People who believe, as you will see, when we start to create our societies, after we evolve from the lower forms of life and we start to form our societies around the great rivers of the world, Tigris and Euphrates, the Indus, the Yellow and the Yangtze, and all the great bodies of water, you're going to see hatred, mistrust, confusion, awkwardness. Who has the right way? Who has the right prophet? Who's going to lead humanity? Who's going to kill and conquer so they can be the Trumps of the world? Except that you and I, in the 21st century, in this third millennium, are in a new period in history. One of the things that you're going to see this semester, starting next week, when we start to tell the story chronologically, and I show you each week. Next week, we'll go from the Big Bang, 13.7 billion years ago, all the way up to 7 million years ago, the Great Divergence, when we began to diverge from our primate ancestors, and then we'll move up to the beginnings of civilization. Today, it's just a general overview, the course. One of the things you're going to see is something you probably already know. You are living through a very unusual time in history. Your children and your grandchildren have entered, are in a world now in which we humans have created some very powerful tools. That's called technology. Those are devices. Those are the things you use to make your life faster and more powerful. We humans have created so much technology that, as you know, we are now entering a period where we may start to live in a post-human world. Probably not, but a lot of people are talking about it. Artificial intelligence, the thinking machine, the machine that can learn on its own, that Alan Turing used to break the German code in World War II that allowed us to defeat fascism. He had a vision to create a thinking machine, and he broke the German code that allowed us to win the war. But now, 80, 90 years later, we're in the world where we have these machines. They're so powerful, but humans are socially and spiritually somewhat backward. They haven't quite morally recognized how are we going to live on this planet where we're all together now, all connected. All cultures, all people are traveling, communicating, and yet there's so much division still, so much mistrust. And you, all of you, you have to live in that world. I'm going to help you this semester to understand that by going back in time, by looking at our shared human story, you're going to see another kind of perspective that's going to help you, I think, to be more ready for a very volatile, tumultuous, and complex world. I hope that the history in this class this semester is going to be more than just history. It's going to open your mindset to a story that, well, there it is. In 1968, just about 60 years ago, humans saw the planet whole for the first time. That's called Earthrise. That's the mission to the moon that happened 6 months before Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. All of you know that when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. It's true. It's not a conspiracy, folks. It really did happen. 6 months before, we went to the moon, but we didn't land. We orbited around it, and we went to take pictures of the moon. But what was remarkable was what we took of Earth. That's it. That's the moment in time. Just 60 years or so, your parents' time, my time, when we humans have recognized no conspiracy, no toxic information in this class, scholarly stuff, good stuff, real information, no garbage, no junk food for your brain, real stuff in this class that is tested with scholarship, and people care. I care about bringing you real information so you know it's true as best we can tell it. That is true. A photograph was taken. What has been true since then is humanity over these last 60 or 70 years has been dealing with the fact irreversibly. We know now there is a planet, we live on it, it has its limits, and it's happening all down there. We've gone into space, and so now we're asking the question increasingly, what is the human story? What's been happening down on planet Earth? Who are the humans? What have they been doing down there? What is that bigger, wider, greater, planet-wide story? That's the story I'm going to tell you this semester. It's a new kind of history. It's the human story. Does this make sense? Well, let me stop. I'm not sure. Silence is okay. I'm going to stay silent for a moment. I'm not afraid of silence. I'm a little concerned that maybe the students don't quite understand, or maybe they don't want to be here. I may be wrong. Who's ready to speak? I think I might be scaring you or unnerving. Let's go in here and see for a second. I see a student back there who's disappearing already into her computer, so I'm not sure she really wants to be here. That's okay. I see a student back there who hasn't been able to close her laptop, and that's okay too, but it tells me where their mind is. And I see a student here who is now going to her phone and her device, which tells me that their machine may be taking over their attention right now, and I've done something wrong. But there's still lots of students who are listening. Let's go to the Cosmos for a second, okay? And see. Cosmos. Did I say anything in the last 15 or 20 minutes that doesn't make any sense or that confuses you or is sort of rattling you? Could you, if you want, jump on your microphone, go into the live chat and tell us. And I'm going to come over now and I'm going to check and see with everybody here. And we're going to, nope. Okay, good. Hold on. No, can't think of anything. It just could be me. It just could be poor old guy, me. Nope. Okay. My apologies if I jump into a conclusion, but let me make sure I'm just experimenting today. I think I can still be heard if I'm standing here or sitting, just a second, facing everybody. Okay, so hold on. If I can't be heard, just say so. Can I tell you one of my biggest fears I have as a professor and a human, just to give you a sense of the times in which we live and how historical they are? There has never been a time in history, I know that, and many have probably already told you this, where your machines are so powerful that you can spend all day and night online. You don't need to even interact with any human being if you don't want to. Your machine provides you with some amazing information. It can keep you stimulated with so many friendships you can make online. But the fact is, it's getting harder for us to remember, when do we go offline and just be together? When do we just learn from each other as humans? Okay, good, thank you. Let me come back, okay? I'll do it this way because I know the audio will work best. I'll keep the camera there. I will simply just switch. My greatest fear is that nobody's going to care about any other human being much anymore because they'll just want to be online all the time. And even when they are with other humans, they aren't really, because they have their headset on, they have their earbud in, they have their laptop up, and they're in too many worlds. So I'm going to try and make sure we can really interact in person. And if you feel afraid or anything, it's just the first class. Please don't worry. But I guarantee you that over time, is it Bella? Bella and Sanya may start to come closer and speak with us. You don't have to. Jack might. We'll see. It's up to Jack. Carolina might. We'll see. And others. But what I don't want to do is come in and simply deliver a PowerPoint and lecture at you. That won't happen in this class. So at least I've established, thank you very much, that I was wrong. There are lots of students who are saying no. So before I continue, because I have a plan, what would you like me to do today? Let's see. In the Cosmos, I can go to the Cosmos. What would you like me to do? Other than that, I have a plan. It's not a problem. I have a whole lesson plan, but I just want to stop and make sure that you feel that you can contribute as best you can. What would you like me to do? What would you like to know? Maya?
Break down the course outline.
Break down the course outline. Done. Let me do that right now, okay? So I am going to go to, Maya has asked for me to break down the course outline. So why don't I start with going back to here, okay? I'm going to take direction from all of you. So you leave this class knowing exactly what you want and you feel you have been involved the best you can, okay? So each week there will be, and I have to bring this back now to the camera so the students see this, but you will have this for you. You'll see. For everybody, Maya has just asked if I could break down the course outline. Well, first, just so you know, the course outline is available for you. In the announcement that was posted on DC Connect, on the news page, where it says, welcome to the best class in the world, you will see a number of links, and the course outline is there, okay? Just so you know. It's right there if you need it. But essentially, each week when you come, I'm going to be telling the story of humanity. Today is just the course introduction, but these are the chapters behind me. Next week is where we begin. The ascent of humanity, civilization, awakenings of power, spells of our God kings, a greater world, the conquest, freedom's power, humanity's stain, the 20th century, and evolution. Each week will be a different chapter, and each week has a different time frame. So where we begin next week, I'm going to deliver a short visual lecture called Where We Begin. And we're going to start with the Big Bang, and we're going to look at the latest science, and I'm going to be showing you essentially how we go from 13.7 billion years ago up to 7 million years ago, and that's called the Great Divergence, when we start to become human. And then we'll end, and I will cover a huge chunk of time, about 13 billion years, in just that class. I will lecture briefly, but we will have an activity as much as I have time for around what I taught, and then we will be making notes together as well. So every week there is this different chapter chronologically. The ascent of humanity, for example, we pick it up at 7 million years ago, the Great Divergence, and we come to the beginning of civilization 10,000 years ago. That's called the starting point in world history generally. That's when societies began. Civilization, I'm going to take you through the early civilizations from about 6,000 years ago up into the time when the great Greek world began, around 1,000 years ago. And you're going to be seeing over time, each week, chronologically, the evolution of human society in different parts of the world. Who had the power? Who didn't? Who was wearing the ring? Who wasn't? Like Frodo in Lord of the Rings. How many of you know Lord of the Rings? The great story, the great movie, Frodo, the character. It's a classic, Lord of the Rings, and the character in it, he wears a ring of power. It's called the Ring of Power. And in it, when you have power, you also have responsibility, but there's also great danger. And we're going to see which societies had the power, how they used their power, how they abused that power, who brought the important ideas to our story, the events, the people, the places. Spells of Our God Kings is going to then pick up from the Greek world and look at the Roman world that grew out of the Greek world, because that world around the Mediterranean is a great place. Every week, Maya, will be a different chapter in the story, bringing us up to the present time. Now, that's the story. In terms of how the rest of the course is going to work, how you will be evaluated, what kinds of activities you're going to be doing, well, here's the next thing that I hope you're going to like, but it's going to put a little pressure on you. Every week, there is a note taker who makes the notes with us. That person is the scribe, if you will. Scribe is the name of the original human who began to write. The story of writing is a breakthrough for humanity, and you're going to see how that happened in what society. So writing, Maya, is very, very important in this class. So there's going to be a person every week who stands by the board and makes the notes. And essentially, Maya, there is never a PowerPoint that is given to you. We create the PowerPoint slides ourselves. It's live, PowerPoints. Your notes, your bullet points are what we do together. So you, by doing that, whoever is chosen or volunteers each week immediately gets the 5 out of 5 participation mark. Every week, everybody in this class, whether they are online, out there in the distant cosmos, in person, is getting a participation mark that's worth 2.5% of your mark. Every week. If you come in person, the only thing you have to do for your participation mark is you go to the discussion board for that class and you ask the question. You write out the question as clearly as you can based on that class. You have to think, well, what is a really important question to ask after today's class? And you post that on the discussion board. And you do that, and I see that you were here, you get 5 out of 5. That's in person. You don't even have to do that. If during the class you volunteer and you say, I want to be on the notes, or I'm ready to come up to the podium and speak to the class, 5 out of 5. Noted. Done. Just making sense? Okay, that's participation for in person. Is everybody following? You good? Okay. Ask any questions if you don't. Yeah, all right. So I have a style of teaching, Samar, which is, it's often said the best way of teaching, which I don't subscribe to, is you talk over everybody. That's the worst type of presentation. But that's often how it's been taught in school. Talk over the crowd. No, I talk to the people. And if I see something going on where it looks sort of odd, I sometimes overreact. So I'm watching you and I'm thinking, maybe she's not quite there today, but I may be wrong, okay? And I apologize if I miss one. Do you understand? Is it the English?
Yeah, I understand something because it's the now it's a new semester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel because I'm a new student.
Okay, fair enough, okay? As long as if you're having any difficulty, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
I have a question.
Let me just make sure, because I have a lot to explain on marketing, but we'll come, Malagai?
Yeah.
Malagai, go ahead, yes.
So, like you said, just post a question in the discussion post, but what if we ask questions in person? Would that also count?
No.
Okay.
I need to show you something, and I'm going to do this a little bit on the fly right now. So actually, I'm going to leave it because it's going to take too long. On DC Connect for our class, you will see there's a content page, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. On the content page for Short History of the World, you will see Class 1 folder, Class 2 folder, Class 3. Today is Class 1. In the Class 1 folder, you will see, by the end of today's class, the recording of today's class. You will see the PDF of the notes. You will see the saved live chat, and you will see any other resources, as well as a link to the discussion board for that class, Class 1 discussion board. So all you have to do, Malagai, to get that discussion, that 5 out of 5, is you go to the discussion board for Class 1, and because you were here in person, and I know that because you wrote your name, I can track that. You just write your question based on the class, and I mark you down as 5 out of 5. Your in-person attendance is being rewarded in this class, but you're being given options. You may not have had a class like that before. There's so many new things, and that's why it's good that you ask the questions, and I'm going to just move with your questions, and you will get everything you need today through your questions, okay? So Malagai, let's say, for example, you decided, let's say next week, you decide, I can't make it in person to the Friday Short History of the World. I'm going to join online, just like all the others in the cosmos right now. Well, you could be joining online from wherever you are. So what's your participation mark going to be? Well, here's how it works. I know that you have joined online because I can see in the recording, and I can see and I track that. If you don't post a question and you don't post anything on the discussion board, you just get 3 out of 5 just for having come to the online class. 3 out of 5. Now, that can be abused. I'm trying to work on that right now. Some people log in, but they're not really there. They ghost the class. I'm working on this, how I'm going to track that. But if you want 4 out of 5, you have to post a question. If you want 5 out of 5, you have to do what all the asynchronous students do. every week they watch the recording of the class. And not only do they have to put a question there, but they have to write 225 to 250 words why they asked that question. If they do that, they get 5 out of 5. Now, to be clear, let's make our first PowerPoint slide. Assessment this semester. We got to do it. Who's going to write this today? Not going to be me. So let me try this. It's okay. First class is going to be brutal in terms of people trying to figure out what the hell are they doing here. Is there anybody in person right now who actually likes to write? Like enjoys or gets pleasure or sees the purpose in writing well? Has anybody had an experience with writing in high school or elsewhere where they didn't like it? It was intimidating. In fact, they like to avoid writing as much as possible. No? Okay. Thomas, so? If you have a disability, I will know about it, or you can let me know privately. I will help you. But I have just learned, just by going around in person, that there's a bit of awkwardness today around writing. Usually I will have 1 or 2 students immediately go, I want to write, but it's okay. So I'm going to say, just because she's already writing, that Maya seems to have an ability to write. And I'm just gonna come over and check this, okay? Hold on a second. Okay, they can still hear me. Just a second, and let me just see. Yep. Huh. Nicely spelled, making notes. So Maya, are you warm enough, or are you getting cold? You okay? How about I command you, I drag you over to the smartboard right now, and I have you write that on there for everybody else. And then if you do that, you got your 5 out of 5. In fact, I will even bribe you to some extent. And I will say, if at the end of that, you would like to leave and celebrate this beautiful thing that you wrote and get the hell out of here, no problem. You can go and you'll get your 5 out of 5. Is that a deal?
I write personal notes in it too, so I don't know if I'd want to share that.
No. Just week 1, week 2, or even what we tell you to write. Is that okay?
Not sure I like
Not sure. Okay.
forced to write.
Okay. Fair enough. Not going to pressure anybody. Thomas, nope. Hamish, not so sure. Jack, it's okay. Not a problem. Let's try, okay? Hamish, go ahead, all right? And I will help you, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with, so Hamish, just by getting up and walking, has 5. He's got it. And I'm going to make a note. Hamish, 5. Hamish. Now, Hamish, here's what I'd like you to do. For everybody online right now, I'm not going to change the camera or anything. I'm just going to speak a little louder so you can hear me when I go to help Hamish. I'm going to go show Hamish how to do this, okay? Normally, we have a camera over there, it would swivel over here, we have a microphone on me, it would look like television. But we'll make this work, okay? Hamish, just put your finger there and swipe. Just swipe. Good. Keep swiping. Keep your finger on the 2 marker. Yeah, swipe. Keep going, okay? Yeah, nice. Okay? Could you please write down marking? Just marking. As clearly as you can. Nice. Look at that. Could you underline that for everybody, please? See, something's going to happen in a moment. It has nothing to do with me. I call this the Bourne Identity phenomenon. How many of you know the movie Bourne Identity? Pretty good, aren't they? Matt Damon, Jason Bourne, goes all over the world and, solving all sorts of problems. Whenever there's a scene in Bourne Identity where it types out, now he's in London, L-O-N-D-X, typed out, New Delhi, Riyadh, Islamabad, Whitby, Pickering. It's cool to see writing, big letters being typed on a screen. Well, in the same way, it's kind of cool to watch somebody write. As if this is a movie screen and we're watching the person write. This is a beautiful human thing that Hamish is doing. And you are going to see 5,000 years ago in a place called the Great Sumerian Civilization in what we often call Mesopotamia, Fertile Crescent, land between the two great rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. Humans invented this thing called writing. They were speaking for 70,000 years, talking, but then we figured out, how do we get all this stuff out of our head? And we started to write with a piece of grass, hard piece of grass. You're going to see how that worked. It's amazing. Well, Hamish is doing that right now. It gave us immense power. This act of writing together, of taking notes, is not just about making real live PowerPoints, the real information now. It's also about the act of not using a mechanical device, a keyboard, a machine to do it, but you're doing it with your hand, the way we humans have done it in ancient societies. He is our scribe today, like he might have been in the court of a great Egyptian pharaoh, or in the great house of wisdom in Baghdad and what is now Iraq. Great Muslim scholars and civilization where they would write on scrolls of paper, beautiful scrolls of papyrus and others. They'd be writing. Well, Hamish is going to do that. He's going to write. Okay. So, Hamish, we're going to review what we just covered, and then we're going to talk about the assignments and everything else. And Malachi and Maya, if you have any other questions, we're going to get it up there for everybody, okay? That PDF will be available for everybody after in the Class 1 folder. Making sense? Okay. Just want to check with you. Is it okay every class that we end 15 minutes early, but we don't have a break? Unless you are desperate to break, it's already 12:25 or so. The class is supposed to end at 1. We're going to end at 12:45, but you're going to stay here until then. Is that okay? Okay, you good with that? Excellent. Okay, everybody online? Great. Okay, you can expect that. Great. Okay, so let's get this done, because we may only get this done today. I won't do the activity, everything else. I'm going to be led by your questions, okay, to make sure you get what you need. So, Hamish, could you just go number 1, discussion posts?
You want me to write this?
Yeah, number 1, discussion posts. Discussion posts. We're going to make a slide together of the marking scheme. And the beauty of doing this together is, in case you might not notice, you're getting this information from me January the 16th, 2026. You're not getting a PowerPoint slide that was done 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, or even last year. You're getting current information. Because you must today. The classroom has to be current. We can't be using textbooks that are 5 years old or 10 years old because things change quickly. So I'm making it current for you together. Does that make sense? You might even have an idea on how to make the marking better. And I might go, okay, let's try that. Discussion posts. ... 2.5% every week. Out of 5. Out of 5. 2.5% every week. Out of 5. Is there anybody in the cosmos right now that would like to, in the live chat, enter quickly what we should be adding to the slide that Hamish is making about the marking scheme and the discussion posts. Anything that I have just said in the last 15 minutes or so that's critical. If not, we'll put it in there. I just want to make sure that those in the Cosmos have a chance to contribute. Go ahead if you would like to. Maya, underneath discussion posts, I'd like to write in person. And then underneath that, I'd like to write synchronous. And underneath that, I'd like to write asynchronous. Okay, so does that make sense? Synchronous? Okay. Could you write down underneath in person? Two words. It's okay, good. How do we spell synchronous? That's okay. You can immediately erase it. In person. Then under that, that's wrong. That's wrong. We're going to help you. Would you erase that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then in person, good. Synchronous, which means the Cosmos. Synchronous means live online. Okay. Synchronous. So SYN. Put that underneath in person. Okay. Put it underneath. Yeah. Put it underneath. Underneath. Synchronous, SYN. Let's see if anybody's listening in the Cosmos for a moment. Could somebody quickly spell synchronous for us? Malagai has got it, but the Cosmos beat you to it. Remarkable, they're on it, okay? Thanks, okay? So here we go. Rehan is right, synchronous. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Rehan? R-E-H-A-N, Rehan, or is it Rehan? Let's see. Rehan, yes. Rahan, yes. Well, second one, so Rahan, okay, good. S-Y-N-C-H-R-O-N-O-U-S, synchronous. Oh, you can even look right there if you can see. Okay, synchronous. S-Y-N-C-H-R-O-N-O-U-S. And then asynchronous, well, just an A and then synchronous. Write that underneath? Yeah, okay. Got it. Asynchronous. For an in-person student, one question. Could you write ... in person after in person too as well? You can do it, start there, yeah, in person. One question. Or scribe. Making sense? And wait till we start doing this. When I say to Thomas, Thomas, could you come up now and tell us what we covered today? And I'd like you to come to the podium and tell the class. And you can't look at your iPhone. You can't have your laptop. It's got to come straight from your memory. And Thomas is going to go, I don't want to do that. And I'm going to say, Thomas, you get 5 out of 5 if you show the courage and stand up here, because we know, you being a human, you have a great brain. And whatever you say is going to be interesting for us. You'll have that opportunity. So anyone who comes to the podium could get 5 out of 5. Right? Make sense? Okay, that's not going to happen today. Unless, no. Carolina, would you like to come to the podium? Definitely not. Okay. Maybe next class? Maybe? Okay. All right. So one question, or scribe, or podium. Malagai?
S-C-R-I-B.
He's got it. S-C-R-I-B-E. Scribe. Scribe. Nice. Or podium. Excellent. Okay. Now for the asynchronous ... What should we write, Cosmos, for Thomas right now for asynchronous? into the live chat. Let's see what comes up. I will guide him for the moment, but I'd like you to think about it. Synchronous, ... Question. No question, sorry, no question, 3 out of 5. Question, 4 out of 5. Making sense? You with us? Okay, good. I'm not sure. I think you are. Are you? I'm not. Mal. It's what's your name behind Malagai? Ethan. Sorry, Ethan. Okay, Ethan, you're okay? Yeah. Okay, because I see. I never know if you have a headset on or not. If you're listening to the class, or it's okay. You can leave the headset on for now, and you can also put your headset on too if you're more comfortable. Okay, Carolina. Yeah. Good. Okay. So Ethan, we have. For no question, 1 question, 4 out of 5, and then 5 out of 5 is question plus reason, 5 out of 5. Okay, and you can write it any way you like on the slide, even if you have to write it vertically and you start drawing images of things. I'm okay. I love creative thinking. Whatever you think needs to be put there, however, just get the information there for asynchronous. For synchronous, and then finally, we're going to do synchronous. Finally, we're going to do asynchronous. Asynchronous, question plus reason equals 5 out of 5. Okay, could you put that there for asynchronous? Question plus reason. Oh, no, you can leave it there for synchronous. That's okay. They will do the asynchronous and synchronous. They have their both the same option. And then asynchronous, question plus reason, 5 out of 5. And then we're going to make another slide on the assignments. And then we're going to finish. Okay? I'm going to keep this class much less content heavy, and I'll do everything next week when we start, because I'm not going to do the lecture. I just feel maybe it's better we just go with the questions. Make sure you get what you want. I don't want to overwhelm any of you or make you uncomfortable in the class. Excellent. Question plus reason, 5 out of 5. Okay, so let's swipe and go the assignments. And we'll keep this even more simple. And I will tell Ethan. Nice. I love that when a student is watching. I can only do so much. I used to have an assistant. I've lost that. I've lost tech support. It's all, money. But I still have the students and I still love to teach, and I'm here. So thanks, Ethan, if you can. Okay, so Ethan has said that there was a cosmic comment. First, from Rahan, was it a 250-word reason for the question? Absolutely, Rahan. You got it. You don't have to write anything right now, okay? I'm just going to answer. Put up there assignments, okay? Assignments. Rahan, as you will see in the discussion board 1 instructions that's already posted, yes, you're absolutely correct. It's a 250-word reason for the question. You got it. So you have to do the question plus the reason. So today, Rahan, if you want your 5 out of 5 as a synchronous student, you have to write the question and the reason. If you just do the question, you'll get 4 out of 5. If you don't do any of those, you'll get 3 out of 5 just for attending. Okay? And then oh wow, what a Rozankan, can you turn the camera toward the slides? I need to take a screenshot. I'm going to be posting the slides as a PDF after the class in the class folder, okay? Rozankan, not to worry. I'm limited what I can do technically. No problem. Okay, so here we go. For assignments, there are 3 assignments. Assignment 1, assignment 2, and assignment 3. Could you just write that down? 3 assignments. Assignment 1, assignment 2, and assignment 3. And after you've written that, just write down all assignments are reflections. And that's all we're going to do today with the slides. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, we're going to return to that and review next week. But that's great. I can save that. All 3 assignments are anywhere. All 3 assignments are reflections. So the idea is that you're going to be doing regular posts every week, and there will be 3 longer assignments, all of which you do written. Reflecting in this class on what happened in the class is really, really important. There are no quizzes, there are no exams. It's all largely writing, as well as for the final assignment, you will have a choice whether you do a video or a presentation. It's all about reflecting on what we do in the class, thinking about what happened and writing about it. Okay? So Hamish, thanks for starting. Let's give Hamish a hand, just for getting things going. Okay, you can leave it there. Okay, excellent. Okay, and let me come back to making sure that everybody has what they need. So Maya and Malagai have both helped to make sure that we review the course outline and how your learning is going to be assessed in this class. I want to make sure that Maya and Malagai have both had their questions answered, but particularly Malagai in terms of how to break down the course outline. Is there anything else that you'd like to know, Maya, or do you feel that you're understanding essentially what's going to be delivered in the course, how it's going to be delivered, and how you will be assessed?
Like half will be the in-class participation and the other half will just be the assessments?
Say that again, go ahead. Yeah.
Half will be the participation and then the other half is the assessments?
Well, let me just keep going. I think you're onto something there. Not quite, but I want to make sure it was understood completely. When you say half will be in person, half will be assessment, what do you mean?
Like coming to the classes and getting the 5 points each week, and then will the rest, because 5 times 14 isn't 100, so the other half or the left.
That's right. Exactly. It's the rest of the assignments. That's right. So you have, if you multiply, that's exactly 14. As a matter of fact, to keep things so that everything adds up to 100%, with the first assignment worth about 20%, second assignment 25, final assignment 30%. To make sure that all of that adds up to 100% in the end, Maya, with the discussion posts, probably I will give everybody 5 out of 5, everybody, for the first class and the last class. So basically 12 classes times 2.5 is 24, 28% or so. And then if you add the rest up, it'll get to 100. But I will, if I'm off a little bit with the number, I will give students marks to bring that to 100%, okay? But yeah, basically that's it. Every week, 2.5% for the posts, attendance, and then the 3 assignments adds up to 100%, that's the course. All this big reflecting on what we do. Does that make sense? Do you follow? You sure? Thomas, you good? Okay. Jack, I know because you've been in another class and he did well. So, it's the same format, essentially. Samar?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, Maya, Malagai, do you have anything else you'd like to?
That's basically my question.
Yeah? Okay, excellent. Ethan, anything up there on the board I should see? Okay, and now the names, you don't have to give me the name. Thomas, could you go over to the board and swipe back to on board? And then we're going to end here, okay? I'm going to get your names because you put your names up there, right? So let me put your finger down there. Yes, lovely. Go back to on board. You can do it. You can keep swiping from there. Yeah. Yeah, you actually have to put your finger there. It's sometimes a little stubborn. Nice. Nice. There we go. Thanks, Thomas. Okay. So we have today, let me make sure, because I want to remember names as well. Bella. Thank you, Bella. Carolina. Sanya, okay. Jack, excellent. Hamish. Thomas. Zohair. Okay. Zohair, of course, Ethan over there. Malachi, but it's spelled like Malachi, but it's Malachi. Yeah, great. Okay. Malachi, so Samar, so then it must be Ayash. Ayush and Zohair. Excellent. Okay. This is the start for onboard Short History of the World in person. And remember, none of you have to come next week in person. If you decide you don't want to, you can join any other way, okay? Now, let me just see how the Cosmos is doing and who has stayed in the Cosmos and who hasn't, okay? So I can see, and I'm going to go through the live chat and make sure I have the full names. I'll do it this way. Where do the full names start? Nice. Okay. I may have missed some, but here. So let's see if anybody's microphone is, or anybody's microphone and our speaker is working, because it's always great when you can hear. Ayan or Ayan, are you still there? Yes. Let's hear. Are you speaking now? Ayan, can you put that, it looks like yes in the, it's not, the speaker is, that's the problem. Okay. Okay, no problem, okay? We'll leave it at that. Mantha, excellent. Ooh, I thought I heard something. Ethne?
I am here, Mantha. Is my microphone working?
Whoa. Go ahead. Who's that?
Samantha, or Mantha Kopaz.
Oh, we're going to end on a high note today. Thank you, Samantha. So the speaker is working. You're even sharing your, oh, now we can get fancy. Watch this, everybody. We'll make some.
I've been here for the last 20 minutes with my camera on.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Way to go. So I control actually here what is being seen. So let me come back to Samantha. We'll keep it there. This is how it really should work if everything is working and the students want to share their video and audio. Samantha, I want to tell you that you now have absolutely 5 out of 5 for just having clicked on your camera and on your microphone, and we can engage with you, okay? You have fulfilled your participation duties 110% today.
Yay!
Okay, so Samantha, 5 out of 5. Excellent. So I'm going to come back for now, and I'll do this. I'll show everybody for the moment. Let me just see if I can do it this way. There we go. Okay, so this is what everybody's going to be seeing right now online. Nice. So we have 2 minutes left, and I'm feeling especially generous. I am going to say to all of those planets right now, for everybody here in person, what do you think I'm about to tell them? Let's just see if anybody's sort of thinking with me. If not, don't worry. I'm about to do something quite generous. Being the first class. Ethan? If they do what?
Turn on their microphones?
And?
Cameras?
The cameras. You got it. Let's see. You all, in the Cosmos, get 5 out of 5 if you take Samantha's lead right now and you actually turn your cameras on and your microphones. You can leave today's class having fully participated.
We got one.
Keep going. I have Keep going.
My
Light it
camera's
up,
broken.
guys. I have a
Can't show my
record.
camera on my phone.
Way to go.
That was Joel, correct? He said his camera
Yeah.
was broken.
Okay,
Yeah,
Joel,
my camera doesn't work on my phone.
Joel, I'm going to trust that you're telling us the truth, okay? I'm not going to challenge you because I know
Okay, thank you.
tech, paradigm. Keep going, guys. You've got 1 minute left to get your 5 out of 5. Everybody here, well, for sure, Hamish is getting 5 out of 5. And I am beginning to feel that partly the math may be off, but I'm probably going to give everybody here 5 out of 5.
I think my camera's broken.
Yeah. And Carolina, if you watch this later or you're somewhere and you check in with the recording, I'm going to give you 5 out of 5 too because you hung in there. But I know it was difficult. Okay, so no problem. Okay, 5 out of 5. But for those of you in the Cosmos, you have to work a little bit. And Samantha did the brilliant thing. So Samantha, Ayan, Alexandria, Benison, Ebenezer, they're getting their 5s. Joel, you will get your 5 even because you said your camera's not working. We can hear you.
Cation is on, his screen's just gray.
Okay. How about?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I had the new browser, I downloaded a new browser. I can't come with my camera.
5 out of 5.
Thanks.
Audio. 5
I
out
also
of 5.
don't have access to a camera.
5 out of 5 for audio. But if you don't share any audio, then you have to do your question. That will get you 4 out of 5. If you want 5 out of 5, you got to do your question and your reason. But if you want 5 out of 5 right now, you don't have to do anything. You just have
Turn
to
your
jump
microphone on.
Yeah.
Microphone.
Is my mic working?
Okay, your mic is working. My microphone is on.
Hello?
Okay, I have to let all the in-person participants go because we're getting past our time. Everybody, next week we will really start the story. I'll do a great lecture on where we begin. There was a lot I wanted to give today on content, but we got started, okay? Thank you very much, and be safe with the snow and enjoy the sun and the beautiful white snow. And for those of you in the Cosmos, well, this is of course recorded, and I have a record of this, so it sure looks to me like all those, of course, that I just mentioned get their 5 out of 5. Samantha. And
hello.
And who's that?
I'm Etney.
Okay, so that's Etney. You get your 5 out of 5. Way to go. You jumped on your microphone. Jacqueline, Joel, of course, has his 5. Marco, Morgan.
Hello.
Who's that?
Reese.
Reese, can you tell us in 10 seconds, what did we do today? And then you get your 5 out of 5.
I did an overview of the course.
Yeah, what did we cover in content today?
The marking of the course. And what's going to be like all the different subjects too.
Good. Thank you, Reese. You've confirmed you're not a ghost. 5 out of 5. You got it. Okay? Way to go. Just a second. I'm going to let them go in a moment. So who else? Other than that, everyone, Samantha, Ayan, Alexander, those that are sharing their cameras are now, you can mute yourselves. You can leave the class. We're going to end the class. You get your 5. I have a record of all those on camera.
I just wanted to double check for Ethan. His camera and mic can't work, but he did put in the chat that he tried. Is that still a mark?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, okay. Samantha. Go ahead, because I saved the live chat too, and I've got it all here. Oh, look at Rehan. Lovely.
Hi.
Good. Okay, everybody, I'm going to disconnect in 20 seconds. So if you've had trouble, put it in the live chat. Otherwise,
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
I'll see you next. Okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna someplace about this, but how long?
Okay. Counting down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Next week, guys. Okay, so let me this live chat because I got messed up earlier this week.
Is that all?
That's all.
Do I get that 5 out of 5?
Great. See you next week, maybe in person.
Maybe.
However you want. The recording, everything will be there. Okay, take care. And then just doing. Hold on. That has not been stopped. Our YouTube live stream got to stop. But I got to go to Safari, and don't do anything funny today with me, Safari, because Safari has a way of not taking that live chat. Okay, well, at least it's there. Okay, just double check. Otherwise, I lose a critical part of today's class. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Good. Okay, so let's get done with now. Stop the live stream. We're off YouTube.